Alrighty, you've read the title, you've clicked the video. Today we are talking November 1 targets for the Brisbane Broncos. 5 of them. I'm your host, Phoenix Trinidad, and this is Darren Park and Darren, the Broncos.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, they lost the grand final. They probably should have won. That looked like it affected them a lot last year. They fell away. They sacked the coach. And the questions coming into this year, when we did this 12 months ago, was could they be back in contention? Could they be back in the top 4? They've answered that in the affirmative. Salary cap's been the talk all year, so keen to see how they approach staying where they are now.
Yep, absolutely. So, before we get into it, this video is brought to you, of course, by ZeroTackle.com. Not only is ZeroTackle.com Australia's #1 independent NRL news source, it also has games. I don't think a lot of people know that. So, test your footy knowledge with NRL Streaker or NRL Name Scramble at ZeroTackle.com. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. We have plenty of NRL content every week, even though the upcoming off-season, it just never stops. Footy never stops. Now, with all that out of the way, let's take a look at 5 November 1 targets for the Brisbane Broncos. Alrighty, so at the time of recording, the Broncos are in the finals. They've made their way into a prelim after that amazing game against the Canberra Raiders. So in terms of their list, where do we put them?
Yeah, I mean, they might win the premiership by the time you've recorded this, but in terms of what it means going forward, the fundamentals of what might happen to their list are the same. Payne Haas's contract remains incredibly important to them. And then you look at 2 vital cogs, Adam Reynolds and Ben Hunt, both 35. They'll be 36 in the middle of next season. So by the time you get to 2027, there's a reasonable chance that both are gone. So then you look at the explosive young talent that they have coming through, Ezra Mann, Reece Walsh, these sorts of players. But they are going to have to make decisions around, obviously, Reynolds and Hunt's long-term replacement, and a lot of their success and their salary cap will depend on what happens with Payne Haas.
Yeah, so taking a look at the current Brisbane squad for 2027, they actually do have quite a lot of people signed there. It seems stable enough there. The question, of course, is salary cap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, and you know, there's been all of that talk throughout the season around Cobbo and various others that they've had to juggle. Success does generally breed a degree of sacrifice. So in the sense that if they were to win the title, you know, people will often take less to stay in that type of environment. And, you know, you got the likes of Blake Moser and these sorts of players that are looking to really push up the ranks come 2027. So, I think Brisbane will approach it with a bit more of they've got a lot of explosive talent. They've got a lot of scoring prowess. I think what they're going to look for is players that can be really solid role players that are fairly versatile but can help to complement the match-winning capabilities of others.
Yeah, so looking at the current best 17 that we've put together at ZeroTackle.com for 2027 for the Broncos, it looks pretty good. There's no number 7, so that's probably what we're going to be focusing on a little bit today. But this is what you came for. So we have 5 options. Let's start with option number 1, and we're going with Jake Clifford from the Cowboys, a halfback with some experience there.
Yeah, that's right, and I think that's the type of player. I mean, they're developing Kobe Black, and he's someone that will be likely ready to push into their top echelon fairly soon. And Clifford, in terms of what the Broncos are after, could be that type of player. So he can play at 6 or 7, which we did flag. That'll put pressure on Black, who's not just going to walk into the side and get that clear run through. And Clifford could potentially start. I mean, if you're in contention, obviously having that experience over youth is not such a bad thing. So can play 5/8 as well. So can back up Ezra Mann, who's had some injuries and other issues over the top of the journey. So I think it's the type of thing that would help them to stay within budget as well.
Yep, absolutely. So speaking of budget, our option for number 2 option, Sam Verrills from the Gold Coast Titans. Broncos have some questions around their dummy halves going forward, so this is where Sam Verrills can possibly come in.
Yeah, and look, obviously Blake Moser is a future number 9 lock that they've got no question in regards to what they want to do there. But I mean, Gold Coast Titans just down the road have had another really tough season. They've moved a coach on. So therefore, you would think that there's going to be that lure to try to pick those players away when there's that degree of instability. So I think bringing him in, he would be another really strong option for them in terms of depth and, immediate impact. So, yeah, I'd be thinking that he's right in the window.
Yep, absolutely. And option number 3, Hamish Stewart from the Dragons. So the Dragons at the moment probably have the best crop of junior forwards, and when you have a good crop of young players, you have to try and poach them. So that's where we're going with number 3.
Yeah, and the Dragons probably feel that they will or have to lose one or two of those options because, it might not be a case that 4 goes into 3 or 5 goes into 4 and all of those types of things, and they're going to try to build in other areas. So Broncos are going to look for reinforcements in the middle third that don't blow their budget apart, given those salary cap limitations. A good supporting role for Payne Haas if they keep him, and Patrick Carrigan. I think his work rate is something that would be really appealing to Maguire as well. He'll take over from Jack de Balen at the Dragons if he was to stay. He does have some other versatility. So, I think there's definitely an option.
Yep. And another bright prospect, this time for the Sharks. So option number 4, Hohepa Puru.
Yeah. Obviously went from the Raiders originally, and obviously now part of another side that at the time of speaking is still in the season. He's 23 years of age, brings a bit of that spark and kind of suits the way they play as well. Good footwork, fast with his hands. I think he'd suit perfectly as an option coming off the bench as well. So I think he would be, a nice fit in terms of, his ability to contribute to good sides.
Yep. And our last contract target for the Broncos, option 5, Payne Haas from the Titans. Now, this isn't that much of a positional player. It's more about what happens off the field when you bring another Haas in.
Yeah, a little bit of both. Obviously, the common theme in everything we've said with the Broncos is that they will be moving heaven and earth to keep Payne Haas. Clearly, Klese is going to give them some options in regards to playing capabilities as well. But look, it wouldn't hurt to obviously have the brother there in terms of creating that culture and environment that he would like to stay in. Payne's a pretty loyal family man as well. But he's also a player who I think can fit into their system. And again, the common theme that we keep saying is won't break the bank. We're not talking about the Broncos going to get someone on $1 million a year. It's about complementing what is a very good core. Yeah, and he's quite a versatile young player. So I think he'll fit in nicely at the Broncos. So that is our 5 contract targets for the Brisbane Broncos. Thank you, Darren. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Let us know in the comments what you think of our 5 options. Do you think they will suit themselves at the Brisbane Broncos come the November 1 deadline? So that is it. We'll see you in the next one.